I just saw the funniest thing on the YouTube. There was a nice video of somebody saying, well, our deep state is an organized crime. Yes. And then a comment went, it started with the 19th Amendment. So that sent me to Google, because I know the First Amendment violated, the Second Amendment, when will you? I was like, and everybody invokes the fifth on the police, but not the second on the landlord. And not the second on those who violate the first. That's what the second is for. Big America. And by the way, if the United States is invading your land, then that includes you, okay? So Palestine, Israel, Congo, Netherlands. Imagine a bunch of duchies invoking the second. Maybe it happened and that's why we had the Haag. Where are the missing 20, Elon? Anyway, that set me Googling, what's the 19th Amendment? Apparently it's the right of women to vote. Now let me tell you something about the cult. And I know this from a person who was a double agent. Okay? That's the guy that tried to assassinate the Peters. And the thing is, they told me, okay, the way this dumbfuckery cult goes, and I had no idea that the Enlightenment folks is the same cult. Because I was like, the Enlightenment. Then I go to therapy. I get the Enlightenment. It's freaking MK Ultra. But MK is it's like this Mason. And what it goes about in the cult is that they have these rituals where they deplete the feminine. They also emasculate people. But the thing is that the camaraderie of men would be around making somebody humiliated and like acting like, like the Nazis. With this picture that you saw with the IDF, they said the Nazis did that too with the red dresses. That's that. So coming up with, it started with the 19th Amendment when somebody already talks about that deep state being an organized crime. Now, somebody sent you a rope. You hang yourself with it instead of climbing outside of the cave. I just thought that was the most stupid thing I saw in a while. But I learned something new. The 19th Amendment is the right of women to vote. You see, that's what happened after the Second World War. It took 2 generations of dead men for women to vote, and it still didn't help because the deep state is still controlled by dumbfuckery, where the rituals are to make everything feminine and then see it as humiliation. It makes no sense. Don't ask for it to make sense. If somebody would tell me that that's on, and it was not be an insider from the cult that actually unfortunately acted on that, I would think that's probably bullshit because it's so stupid. But generations of men grown this dumbfuckery, and if you want to be anybody in the world, you need to be connected, right? To talk about connectivity. That's not LinkedIn. That's the secret societies. When Illuminati was in my DM on Twitter, I was like, yeah, Illuminati in my DM. Okay, then I got what? I got shadow banned because I didn't join the dumbfuckery, okay? There's some people in the cult, and you're in the cult, got canceled. Why? The father spoke about the WHO. So they're gonna find something, and of course there is something. It's a cult that's based on rape, betrayal, pedophilia, incest, and whatnot. Now, the thing is that the line that connects it all is that they deplete the feminine. It's stupid, I know, but that's like, if you understand that stupidity, you also understand that way out. And you also can, if you know a little bit about the yin and the yang, what is yin and what is yang, you study that, you see exactly where there is inversion. Because with the yin and yang, yin is supposed to be healthy, yang is supposed to be healthy. They're supposed to be in good balance with each other. Okay? The sky that punishes the land is an inversion. Sky doesn't punish the land, for otherwise what we would have, okay, if we lose the mandate of the heaven. The sky itself would lose the mandate of the heaven. So what's a little bit of what's happening when we started spraying things around that are toxic to her psyche. Neurotoxins to fertility. Basically, it's the fertility of the soil before it's our fertility. So that's the way out. I think I begin to understand why they threw out the big bottle. I found a giant bottle and I was like, oh my god, it looks so cool, but I think it's a little bit, yeah, and it's water all around. So okay, there's a leak. No, it's not this one. This was false accusation. This false accusation. The very first time I made a false accusation. No, it's a little bit. It wasn't even a false accusation. So that wasn't. Oh, I never made a false accusation. Apparently. It's a bit leaky. So they threw him in the trash. But I think if you hold it straight, then it's gonna be okay. Just a water bottle. Just a giant 1.5 liter water bottle that leaks. Anyway, when people begin to talk about the entire world being ruled by a secret cult, this is the time where you don't want to do stupid. Because if you go and you blame on women, well, women are your way out of the ghetto right now. Okay, not all of them. Some of them are in the lodges. Some of them internalize the weird things that were told to them. But honoring yin and yang is a way out of the ghetto, because you understand what the inversion is. I was talking with a couple of researchers the other day, and one of them got really scared when I told her about things. I said, I'm not here to scare you. She's like, you're being unsuccessful. I'm terrified. And I'm like, don't be, because you want to see what your balance of expansion and contraction, sleep, okay, rest and work. Anything that violates that is an inversion. Anything that contributes to that, that's the real deal. Okay, so you want to be there with the real deal, whether it's relationships, your medicine, your political orientation, anything. It's not about this pill or that pill. It's just what is real. Okay, there's a yin and yang and a balance between them. And what is not? And no, it's not. How do you say it? Transphobic? No. No. I'll just keep that for a while. Okay, if that triggers you in some way, see it as a yin and yang. I think it's easier. Because anything that violates this and creates a perpetual violation of that, okay, I'm not talking about dynamic balance, that's how you make world wars. I spoke about it in 2017 and then wondered why they targeted me with the MK Ultra and tortured me and raped me with astral and whatnot, because I said that. Okay? Because I said it in 2017 when I was like, oh, let's take a look at this yin and yang and see how for this unbalance and how with the world war it's kind of like it's balancing out, but then it doesn't. And I'm like, oh, that's what the cult tries to do. It tries to create perpetual unbalance. It does that with betrayal. It does that with relational trauma. It does that with inversion on fertility and fertility practices and medicines. With the double binds that everybody is associated with. Okay? And so on. And if you get that, and you so much as tend to that, you're on the way to undo the 22. But if you stick to that, you know, it all started with the 19th Amendment. Like, no, that was your rope. You can hang yourself with it, or you can begin to climb the rope outside of the dumbfuckery cave. Your rope was They put it in the 19th Amendment. Okay? And so right now we're at another time where dramatic chaos is happening, that eventually, I'm not saying the process is good for women, it is not. Nobody likes ritual rape and bloodline sacrifice. But the end of it was that the women that were staying or the women that came back later had relative degree of freedom that they didn't have before. And now you can say, Shirley, what about colonialism? Well, let's talk about Sedna as an Inuit goddess. Let's talk about Sedna as an Inuit goddess. What was the story of Sedna? There was no accommodation for a free child and a free woman in the tribe, and not outside of the tribe as well. So she drowned. So we had to appease Sedna. What do Inuit suffer today for most? Suicidal tendencies and death rates from that. Why? According to Inuit, because of incest culture. Okay? That's a great match with the elite. That's a great match with colonialism, unfortunately, because those elites are incest cults that are archaic. Okay, it is what it is. Now, Sedna, if you worship Sedna, or if you give reverence to Sedna, she's actually a matchmaking goddess. To give you a match that is actually good for you, that you are honored and respected. She teaches us to respect ourselves. And when I say respect ourselves, it's not like, don't cheat, no. It's respecting your right to say yes, no, and maybe, as you see, authentically true to yourself. No matter whether you're married or not married, with your child or your adult. That's one of the lessons of Sedna. So, so I think we're going to see a lot of these things, and even the cult, it likes to propose to you the solution and see if you catch the bait, or if you will, they'll make it a washing. But if you don't, you're kind of like, oh well, you see, you were dumb. But the thing is, if you got that yin-yang balance, if you got that rest and sleep versus work and contraction, then you begin to have a centering, some sense of centering that is very necessary in this very, very chaotic times. And once you do, you're going to see things falling apart. You're going to be able to recognize the washing, to recognize the inversions, to recognize, for more is what is true to you, and begin to release that, because we are at the great opening window for a lot of discussions about things that people were afraid to talk about. And those discussions translate into actions, sometimes class lawsuit actions. And the evidence summons itself. All the attempts to make people look like they're crazy, well, the cure for schizophrenia is housing first and to believe the patient. It is what it is.